Hello, and welcome to today's virtual travel video. We are going to embark on a journey from Ireland all the way to Brazil in South America. For this, we will first fly with TAP Air Portugal from Dublin, where we are currently headed to Lisbon, before we continue to São Paulo. We will cover a distance of almost 10,000 kilometers, which will take us 21 hours to complete. So without further ado, let's get into it. We got a flight to catch.
Passengers, your TAP Air Portugal flight TP1325 to Lisbon is now ready for boarding. We kindly ask all passengers to have their boarding passes and passports ready.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard this flight 1325 in service to Lisbon. We're about ready to go here, finishing up the last final paperwork, and we're expecting an on-time departure here in Dublin. Flight time is about 2 hours 20 minutes down to Lisbon. Conditions en route are forecasted to be quite favorable, quite smooth. We'll update you with the latest weather information once we get closer to Lisbon. For now, thank you for choosing Air Portugal for this flight. Thanks for your attention. And, Air Portugal 1325 with information hotel. Request IFR clearance to Lisbon, please.
Air Portugal 1325, Dublin delivery. Expect runway 28 right, Vapor 2 Juliet departure. Squawk for 606.
Air Portugal 1325 is cleared to destination Lisbon, off runway 28 right, Beacon to Juliet departure, squawk 4606.
Air Portugal 1325, read back correct. Contact ground 121.8 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 121.8 for push and start, Air Portugal 1325, bye bye.
Taxi via November 3, November, Kilo. Hotel 1, Whiskey 1, Sierra 7. Bold short runway 16. Continue taxi via Hotel 1, Whiskey 1, Sierra 7.
Cross runway 16 at Hotel 1. Continue taxi via Hotel 1, Whiskey 1, Sierra 7, Flyer 9.
Precauções de segurança de nossas aeronaves. Quando o sinal do cinto de segurança acender, aperta o cinto de segurança. Insira os fechos de metal e aperta-os na extremidade solta da tira. Para soltar o cinto.
Shamrock 13 Juliet Heavy.
Está utilizado o seu assento. Quando solicitar, abra o saco plástico e remova o colete. Mas em volta da cintura e ajude esqueças. Obrigado.
Flight controls, full left, full right,
Pushback departure start approved.
Air Portugal 1325, request taxi please.
Air Portugal 1325, runway 28 right taxi via Alpha Tango 3, Alpha Tango 4, Foxtrot Inner, Charlie.
Turkish Line Whiskey Echo, hold position for traffic.
28.8, bye-bye.
B for takeoff checklist, to the line, APU off, flight controls checked,
69 Delta, bye-bye.
V-speed flex temp, 22, 27, 43, flex, takeoff 236. Trims, centered, 2.3 up.
Charlie Delta.
Ryanair
Flaps, 2,
continue taxi.
FMAs checked, takeoff config,
Continue taxi. Ryanair 5 Bravo.
Takeoff okay.
checked, brake temperature,
Turkish Line
green.
Whiskey Echo.
Before takeoff checklist complete, to the line.
Air Portugal 1325, Dublin Tower, wind 280 at 7, runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 28 right, Air Portugal 1325.
Cross runway 16 at Hotel 1. Continue taxi.
Before takeoff checklist, below the line.
Sierra.
Takeoff briefing complete, cabin crew advised, transponder TARA. Takeoff. Thrust set. Checked. Gear up.
Prezados passageiros, por favor permaneçam sentados até que as luzes avisadoras dos cintos de segurança se apaguem. Para a sua segurança e conforto, sugerimos também que mantenham os cintos de segurança apertados durante todo o voo, caso ocorra turbulência inesperada.
Dublin departure, good evening, Air Portugal 1325, climbing 3004, flight level 90, beacon to Juliet.
Air Portugal 1325, Dublin departure. Good evening. Identified. Climb to flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Air Portugal 1325.
Shannon Control 132.15.
Shannon Control 132.15, Air Portugal 1325, bye-bye.
Contact London Control 118.775, Air Portugal 1325.
Descend flight level 250, Air Portugal 1325. Flight level 250 set. FPA. And ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking again. We've already started our descent into Lisbon. As promised, the latest weather report for Lisbon, currently cloudy and a temperature of 17 degrees centigrade. We hope you had a pleasant stay on board, and we wish you an equally pleasant stay in Lisbon or a safe journey if you're continuing to another destination. Thanks for your attention, and bye-bye. Ice condition checked. Lisbon approach, good evening, Air Portugal 1325 with information Delta, PSX Xamax 1 Alpha arrival, descending flight level 126 for flight level 80.
Air Portugal 1325 Lisbon approach, QNH 1012, expect the ILS runway 02 with the PSX transition.
QNH 1012, expect the ILS 02 with the PSX transition, Air Portugal 1325.
Procedimentos de aproximação para pouso. Por favor, permaneçam nos seus assentos com os cintos de segurança afivelados, rebatam os apoios de braços e deixem as janelas abertas durante o pouso.
Aeronave to Foxtrot Alpha. Descend to flight level 080. Descend to flight level 0.
Air Portugal 1325 cleared direct PSX cross PSX at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 02.
Cleared direct PSX, cross PSX at or above 3000, cleared ILS 02, Air Portugal 1325.
Air Portugal 1325, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105.
Tower 118.105, Air Portugal 1325, bye-bye. Lisbon Tower, good evening, Air Portugal 1325, fully established ILS 02.
Air Portugal 1325, Lisbon Tower, continue.
Continue approach, Air Portugal 1325. Gear down.
Air Portugal 1325, wind variable, runway 02, cleared to land.
Checked. Clear to land, runway 02, Air Portugal 1325.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Manual flights. Autopilot off.
500.
Checked. Stable.
Contact Lisbon departure 125.13, quality to Mike November.
Approaching minimums.
Checked.
Decimal 755, have a good evening.
Toda a tripulação, gostaríamos de agradecer pelo voo conjunto.
Lisbon ground, hello, Portugal 1325.
Air Portugal 1325, ramp 414, taxi via Uniform 4, Uniform 3, Uniform 2, Uniform 1, Lima 1.
Taxi ramp 414 via Uniform 4, Uniform 3, Uniform 2, Uniform 1, Lima 1, Air Portugal 1325. APU's running. Engine 1 off. Engine 2 off. Alright, and this concludes our first leg on our way down to São Paulo. We now have about 3 hours of layover time until we are boarding our next flight, so stay tuned.
Passageiros para o voo IBM.
Welcome aboard this flight, Air Portugal 87 in service to São Paulo, Guarulhos. Flight time for this flight is roughly 9 hours 40 minutes. We hope you have a pleasant stay on board. Thanks for your attention and enjoy your flight.
Senhores passageiros, o comandante e toda a sua tripulação apresentam em nome de TAP Portugal, membro da Star Alliance, as boas-vindas a bordo do nosso avião. Gostaríamos que... Por favor, solte o travão de mão.
Brakes released.
Acione o travão de
Brake set.
O avião tem 8 saídas de emergência, todas devidamente assinaladas. 4 portas de cada lado.
Pino de direção e equipamento retirados. Sinal claro da esquerda. Bom voo. Adeus.
Cleared signal received. Lisbon ground, Air Portugal 87 Heavy, request taxi please.
Air Portugal 87 Heavy, runway 02 taxi via Alpha 4, Golf, Uniform, Mike.
Taxi runway 02 via Alpha 4, Golf, Uniform Mike, Air Portugal 87 Heavy. Lisbon Tower, good evening. Portugal 87 Heavy, runway 02, ready for departure.
Air Portugal 87 Heavy, Lisbon Tower, wind 040 AT3, runway 02, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 02, Air Portugal 87 Heavy.
Air Portugal 075 Heavy, ready for departure, runway 02. Air Portugal 075 Heavy, offshore of 02, departing traffic. Affirm, offshore of 02 for traffic, Air Portugal 075 Heavy.
Press set.
Alpine 52 Yankees, Lisbon Tower, continue.
100 knots. B1, rotates. Positive rates, okay up.
Air Portugal 87 Heavy, contact Lisbon, departure 125.13.
125.13, Air Portugal 87 Heavy, bye bye. AP1 is flying. First climb. Lisbon departure, good evening, Portugal 87 Heavy, passing 2,500 for flight level 100. Echo Sierra Papa, 6 November departure.
Air Portugal 87 Heavy, Lisbon departure identified, climb to flight level 110.
Climb flight level 110, Air Portugal 87 Heavy.
Lisbon, Air Portugal 075 Heavy, 900 feet.
Air Portugal 075 Heavy, Lisbon departure identified, climb to flight level 150.
Clean to flight hotel 150, Air Portugal 075 Heavy.
Air Portugal 87 Heavy, contact Lisbon Center 119.55.
Lisbon Center 119.55, Air Portugal 87 Heavy, bye bye. Lisbon Center, hello, Air Portugal 87 Heavy, climbing flight level 100 for 110.
Air Portugal 87 Heavy, Lisbon Center identified, climb to flight level 230.
climb flight level 230 at Portugal 87 heavy. Lights off.
Portugal 1905 Lisbon Center, expect sort 5 kilo, runway 10. Air Portugal 87 heavy, going to flight level 310.
Climb flight level 310 at Portugal 87 heavy. And seatbelts off. Well, only 8 hours and 45 minutes more, and we're already there. We've been flying for 4 hours and 43 minutes at this point, and the local time in Lisbon, 4:15 in the morning. So most of our virtual passengers are probably fast asleep or watching some movies. Up here in the virtual flight deck, there is some interesting and different things to spend the time. So the first thing is we are over the South Atlantic, which raises the question, where do we go if something goes wrong? Say there might be a technical problem or a medical emergency. So for this reason, flying over the ocean requires a little bit of extra preparation. So what we can see on the nav display here is our route, obviously. We're approaching the waypoint Pinru, and after that we're flying to Nanik. Between these, I have inserted a waypoint as a reminder for us. It's called ETP1, and that stands for Equal Time Point. And this point differentiates between two airports that we have picked beforehand. The first one is Sal in Cabo Verde, which is already well behind us. But in case anything goes wrong at this point, we will turn back to Sal, because it's closer than our second alternate airport that we have chosen for this Atlantic crossing, which is Fortaleza in Brazil. The equal time point is that point between Fortaleza and Sal where the distance is equal. So at this point it makes more sense to turn back to Sal, and after we passed the equal time point, we would continue on to Fortaleza because it's closer. The distances that we have here over the ocean are presenting some further challenges as well. One of them is the lack of radar coverage, because we're so far out that no radar can reach us. Our transponder system is still sending out data to air traffic controllers, so they have a pretty good idea of where we are. However, to talk to air traffic controllers is not as easy, because over Europe, for example, you can just talk to air traffic controllers via VHF radio, very high frequency radio. These wavelengths do not reach far enough to also work over the ocean. So what we have over the ocean is high frequency radio, HF radio. The downside to that is though that the audio quality is much worse and you have a lot of static noise, which makes it very tedious to listen to.
Report 16 knots before west. Report 16 knots before west. Flight level 340.
With newer technology, it has become sort of a backup in case our main form of communication isn't working, and that is CPDLC. Basically, I guess you can explain it as a sort of WhatsApp for aviation. So for example, in this case, to demonstrate what we can do with it, we are currently at 34,000 feet, and for our fuel efficiency, it would make more sense to climb up to a higher flight level or a cruising altitude. And the aircraft has calculated that itself, and it says the optimum flight level we should be flying at right now is flight level 360, so 2,000 feet higher. So what we will do now is we will ask ATC to clear us to that flight level so we can climb. We can see here it says request cruise climb to flight level 360. We hit send, so they received a request and they will let us know that we can climb, or if they have any other plans for us. Okay, now we got the message back. Climb to flight level 360, gonna accept that, and then we can climb to flight level 360. There's another interesting thing to talk about when it comes to flying over the South Atlantic, and that is the ITCZ, the Intertropical Convergence Zone. It's basically a weather phenomenon that is very present around the equator. The interesting part for aviation, or virtual aviation in this case, is however that there is a lot of thunderstorms around the equator around this time of the year. These thunderstorms can take enormous proportions, up to 50,000 feet, which is far higher than any airplane can ever climb. And indeed, today we also have reports of embedded thunderstorms forecasted for the area we're about to fly into. And if we encounter such thunderstorms, we have to fly around them, obviously, because they are far too dangerous to fly through. As a feature, if you want to call it that, we have to be extra careful of ice building on the flight surfaces, which would be very dangerous. As we can see here, the SAT, the static air temperature, is only minus 41 degrees Celsius, and at a temperature of minus 40 degrees, so we have to worry about ice crystals forming even on altitudes like this. Morning from the flight deck. As you can see, the sun has risen. It is daylight outside. I just got my first morning coffee here with me, and we got about 40 minutes, give or take, to São Paulo, and we'll probably get our descent clearance here pretty soon. So let's get ready for the descent.
Air Portugal 87 AVE, Volume Bravo, runway 28 left, descent to flight level 220.
Vunoff 1 Bravo arrival, runway 28 left, descent to flight level 220, Air Portugal 87 Heavy. And the descent checklist, bow reference, 1013 pre-selected, seatbelts on, minimum, 3646. Moderate low, engine mode selector, normal.
Air Portugal 87 AVE, São Paulo control approach. QNH 101 full spec DELS Whiskey runway 28 left with the Utcook transition.
Expect the ILS runway 28 left with the Utcook transition. QNH 1014, Air Portugal 87 heavy. Seating traffic, front
Air
of us.
Portugal 87 AVE, clear ADLS Whiskey runway 28 left.
Cleared ILS 28 left, Air Portugal 87 heavy. Lock star, there we go. Activate approach phase. Flight stop star speeds. Speed managed. And lock.
Air Portugal 87 heavy, contact Guarulhos Tower 135.2, have a good day.
Tower 135.2, Air Portugal 87 heavy, bye bye. Gear down, flaps 3. Guarulhos Tower, good morning, Air Portugal 87 heavy on the ILS 28 left.
Air Portugal 87 heavy, Guarulhos Tower, continue.
Continue approach, Air Portugal 87 heavy. Cabin crew, take your seats. Landing checklist, ECMM or landing no blue cabin, ready. Landing checklist complete. Menu flight. Put it off. Cat 3 single.
Air Portugal 87 heavy, wind 180 at 2, runway 28 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 28 left, Air Portugal 87 heavy. Checked.
Hundred above.
Checked.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20, retard. $5.
Next available taxiway, Air Portugal 87 heavy.
Yankee 3 Echo, Yankee 3 Hotel Bravo, Quebec.
Até que o respectivo sinal de apertar cinto seja desligado.
Air Portugal 87 heavy, welcome to Guarulhos, taxi via Golf Alpha Kilo, Yankee 6 Echo.
Golf Alpha Kilo, Yankee 6 Echo to the gate, Air Portugal 87 heavy.
We hope you enjoyed the flight and we hope to see you again. Thank you for flying DAB, the Star Alliance member.
And the after landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist completes. Pilots off. Beacon off. Fuel pumps off. And the parking ejectors, please. Last but not least, parking brakes or chocks. Chock set. Engines off. Wing lights off. Fuel pumps off. Yellow LEG pump off. Parking ejectors complete.
And with that, we have arrived in São Paulo. Thank you for joining me on this long journey from the northern to the southern hemisphere. I hope you had fun, and to see you soon on one of the next flights. Thanks for watching.